It's really thinking about what is it contributing so that the audience is getting one step closer to the sale in terms of what am I doing? What am I demonstrating? Am I changing their mindset? Am I getting them to see the ease of this thing? Is it convenience? So all these different things that I'm doing, there's a reason for that.
When it comes to selling anything, whether it's high ticket, low ticket, the first sale that you gotta make is the sale to yourself. And sometimes that's the hardest sale, to be able to actually see the value in yourself, in you, because one of the things that we all suffer from is what I call the "but who am I" titis, which is basically, but who am I to be able to charge this amount? But who am I to be able to put myself out on social media and to be able to educate others on this? But who am I to be able to create this offer, to be able to have impact on others when it comes to topic name? Today, in this video, I'm going to be taking you behind the scenes to a coaching call that I recently did to walk you through that process and how to make that first sale, that shift in the mindset, and change and unlock that thing from within.
The first person we have is Stella. Welcome. It says here that, you know what? Before we start looking at your submission style, maybe I can just bring you up first and you walk us through what it is that you would like to work on based on this hot seat. Okay, Stella, you can go ahead, take it away.
I am actually doing real estate training in Singapore. So my target is very specific to en bloc properties in Singapore. So it is a very unique property type in Singapore. So I run webinars every week to call them out to a masterclass. So in the webinar, I will actually offer it's triple nine to the event for previously 2 days. We just changed it to a 3 days event. In a masterclass, we'll train them on investing in en bloc properties, in development properties, and etc. over 3 days. So this round, what I added was mindset component into the 3 days event. That was something I added on to the 3 days event because that perhaps would actually, I thought could potentially add them into the belief system that we have, because we are actually sending them to our higher coaching, and we want the same type of people. We don't want people who want to get rich fast with real estate, which is not possible. It's more a steady journey.
Just so I'm clear on the outcome that you want from this call, do you want to be able to work on the pitch that you made on the 3 days? Or is it something else?
I have two things actually. Right now, I'm not sure. One is the pitch for the 3 days, because this time round, the last 2 rounds when I do 2 days event, we close on the spot on the second day. So people sign up right away. This time we did a 3 days event, there was no sign up.
When you say there was no sign up, was the offer and the pitch exactly the same but with 1 extra day?
Similar, but offered differently. Because the last time we only have 2 days. So on the second day morning, I made an offer. This time around, because we have 3 days, I made the offer first time in the afternoon, and then the second day 2 afternoon, and the second time on the 3rd day morning. So
right.
That would be sequence. One, I want to understand the psychology of closing in terms of when we offer, and the pitch as well for the 3 days event. However, I'm not saying it's like doomsday, because we actually have application call. So I did the application call.
I see.
People did apply, and in the last 2 days, we have actually had a few signups.
So what I want to be able to do is I want to hone in on one thing first, because chances are there's a lot of variables, yes. Right? The variables could be, was it because I did it before lunch, after lunch? Was it because I did the application close first and then close to sale? Is it because, the timing of it wasn't right? Is it because I wore red underwear, so that therefore it affected with my inner chi? There's so many different variables. So I want to be able to think about this one thing first, right? So that we can kind of hone in and remove all other distractions. Now, what would you say you would like us to zoom in on? Because there's so many things, right? It could be the slide deck, it could be the pitch, it Could be the big picture. Is there something that you feel could have contributed to this change?
I think it's a pitch.
Did you feel you made a big change in the pitch?
I was not pitching as much. It wasn't a very hard closing. It was storytelling closing kind of stuff. Or maybe to make things easier, maybe we look at the slide deck.
Okay, so how about this? Before we look at the slide deck, I always say that whatever it is that you guys do, whether it's a 5-day challenge, a 3-day event, a 2-hour webinar, a 28-day challenge, that entire thing you got to think about is a close. Okay, I always say this. Your entire fill in the blank challenge, webinar, training, event is a close. There's something that you're doing that's either taking them closer to the sale or taking them further away from the sale. Let me show you what I mean by this. Okay, so you might notice that if you've ever trained with me, whether it's in person or in a live event or virtual, there's going to be moments where I might do a hot seat, something like what we're doing right now. Now, why do I do that at specific moments? It's because even though I'm teaching and coaching, it's really showboating coaching skills and how I can actually create a pitch, offer, or have some sort of solution on the spot. That is a close. I'm showing them that, wow, if I had Peng Joon by my side, and if I had the time with him where I could tell him what I think my offer should be about, he can craft a pitch for me on the spot. And I can't imagine what that result would be like if I worked with him week after week after week. So that's a close. It's really thinking about what is it contributing so that the audience is getting one step closer to the sale in terms of what am I doing? What am I demonstrating? Am I changing their mindset? Am I getting them to see the ease of this thing? Is it convenience? So all these different things that I'm doing, there's a reason for that. Okay, I like all of you guys are in this. Okay, so for example, right, you take a look at implementation week, right? Recently happened. Every session, so let's say one session, we had Marcus on, right, talking about campaigns, ads, and all of the things that happens behind the scenes. Now, what is that? That session, that's a close. What am I doing? What are we doing over there? That's basically showing, oh wow, these techniques are amazing. So what we want to be able to do is you want to be able to take your offers and think about at what point the thing that I do so well and position it throughout my entire event so that I'm genuinely demonstrating to them that I can help them by actually helping them. That's the greatest close of all, right? Showing your audience that you can help them by actually helping them. And you want to be able to cover all these different angles. And one of the things that you said that really caught my attention, which is probably the most important one, is actually mindset. When you can change a person's mindset and belief about that thing, whether it is the payoff, the price, how they show up, that's going to be far more important than what it is that the technical thing that they showed up to learn. And that's why you might notice the greatest build up to a close and the reclose is typically mindset related. The most powerful thing in making a sale is changing a person's perspective or belief about that thing. It could be belief about themselves. The biggest reason why people don't buy from you is not because they don't believe you. It's not they don't believe that your thing is great. The biggest reason why people don't buy is because of their belief in themselves, in their inability to execute. Now, if you understand this, you will reframe how you teach, how you tell stories, how you demonstrate value. Our first thing that we gotta do as marketers, as entrepreneurs, the first layer is just to show our audience that we know what we're talking about. Now, most of the people, this is where the entire presentation or workshop or training or challenge or phone calls about showing your audience that, hey, we're really good at what it is that we do. We're really good. Look at all these different testimonials. Look at the results we've gotten for ourselves. When we understand this, the next thing, how do we apply this in sales, is to understand that we got to change the mindset about themselves. What are they telling themselves that's holding them back in their inability to execute? And this is where when I say mindset, you think about all of the beliefs that they might have about themselves and why they can't do it. That needs to be incorporated in what it is that you do. That is how you actually help your audience at the highest level. So you got to think about, well, what's the mindset people normally have with ads? Ads would be like, ads cost money. I don't have money to run ads. That's a belief. That's a belief that a lot of people would have. But the mindset get them to shift is, it is not about having money to run ads, but rather understanding how to create a campaign where you can put in $1 to get back $3 in return. Because if you can have a campaign that allows you to put $1 and get back $3 in return, then your budget is irrelevant. So a person's belief initially might be, I don't have money to run ads. And that's actually a false belief. And this is where I want you to get them to see. So imagine if you could build up a sales process where you could put $1 in, get back $3 out. How much would you spend? Now they're saying, oh, I'll spend 5,000, 10,000, 100,000. I'll sell my kids. I'll sell both my kidneys, right? To run this ad campaign. Then you would say, so, well, what's the difference? Initially, budget was an issue. Why is budget significantly higher now? It's because, again, that's when they're saying, oh, because I just need to build this thing that puts $1 in, get back $3 out, and you're going great. And if you could build, how much do you think that would be worth to you? Right? So this is where the thing that really separates the world's best is thinking about, how can I list down the things that's holding them back and turn it into a teaching material? And guess what? When you do that, you're still closing. You're actually bringing your audience one step closer, and you're answering their biggest doubt, the mother of all doubts, which is their doubt in themselves. Remember, it's not because of it's not because they don't believe you or trust you. That's just the first layer, but the trust they have in themselves. And that is where mindset comes in. I'll tell you a few different examples, and obviously this is a topic that I'm very passionate about, studying this topic for the longest time. I've really watched the world's best closers do their thing. And even though it looks very natural, I can tell you it's all planned out. Now, let me tell you something that Tony does a lot when it comes to like mindset, but how it's really close. Okay. So one of the things that Tony does very well is this thing called anchoring. And anchoring means he will bring you back to a specific state that you remember. And one of the exercises he would do would be, he would say, I remember when he would tell this elaborate story about being in the mastermind that he felt very out of place. And he was invited to this mastermind. And he said, when I was invited, there are all these other players, big names in the industry, and he felt very out of place. And he felt like he didn't belong. And he would tell this story of how, I believe it was Steve Wynn, names could be, completely off. This was like many years ago. And you said, so the guy approached him at the jet and said, you feel really out of place, isn't it? And then Tony would tell a story of how, yeah, because in my mind, it was not just I was out of place, but I'm thinking like, man, I've got to invest and spend all this money to be in the mastermind. And on top of that, I've got to be away from business for an entire week. My business is going to collapse, yada, yada, yada. And then long story short, right, this is just the obviously turbo summarized version of the story. Turns out it was an amazing mastermind that changed life. Now, basically, what is that? That story is actually answering all of your objections about joining a mastermind, which is, I feel out of place. I don't know if I can invest in this mastermind. I don't know if I can take time off to attend this mastermind. And that's just, one example of telling a story to change the belief about fill in the blank. In this case here, mastermind. One of the things that he does very well as well is he will show you the difference in heart versus the mind. So one of the things that he would do, entire session, is he would get you to think about how the difference in how your mind and your heart thinks. And he says your mind is designed to keep you safe, right? Your mind is built for survival. It wants what is familiar. But your heart is the one that truly knows what it is that you want in life, which I believe is 100% the truth, right? And then you would do an entire session, which is like, so which do you think has been dictating your life your entire time? Your heart, your mind. And everybody's like, which do you think is more powerful? Everybody's like, heart, right? So it's like, anchors it in, heart. Heart is always right. When it comes to close, one of the things that he does is he will bring it up and he would say, when it comes to close and comes to offer, he'll say, what is your heart telling you right now? Now everybody's like, huh. Now obviously you reach a point where you feel like, you know what? I need to do this. I need to change the quality of my life. My heart's telling me to do this. Now that's very, obviously it's very advanced. It's using anchoring, psychology, persuasion's a whole new level. But the reason why it doesn't feel like it's salesy, and the reason why I'm telling you this story right now, is because you realize that Tony sells very well, but you know what he doesn't really do is it doesn't really go through like a proper stack with you. It's very unconventional. There's no like, so as a part of this mastermind, the first thing you're going to get is two trips with me every single year at an exotic location. The second thing you're going to get with me is the business retreat. He doesn't do any of that. You notice that the way he gets people to the back tables are just these stories. Now, there's many different ways you can do this. Okay. The first one, to change the mindset and to desensitize money, is to look at cost of alternative solution. Okay. So an example would be, as part of your teaching, as part of your offer, it could be like, so let me ask you today, in today's world, if somebody truly wanted to understand and master language and persuasion, and if they were to go through the traditional route of traditional education, first of all, let's just say, I don't even know if somebody that supposedly mastered the language, let's say an entire degree in language and persuasion, or in English literature, whatever it may be, a piece of paper that kind of shows them they've mastered the language. First of all, first question would be, do you think this person is guaranteed to be a successful copywriter? Second question, do you think this person is guaranteed of any type of job or success in his or her career? Let them do the answering, right? Let them do the thinking. And the answer obviously would be no. Right? And how much would that set them back typically? Right, let me know in the chat. Right? 10,000, 50,000, 100,000. The answer is always, you're right. And when somebody wants to learn a specific skill set where you don't have to spend 3 years learning fluff, but then just 1 weekend doing it, some people think, oh, it's too expensive. Now, you notice what I'm doing over here? What I'm doing over here is I'm desensitizing money. I'm showing them, look, traditional education that's going to be nowhere near as effective, because it's going to set you back 6 figures. Well, then, of course, depending on which part of the world you're at. I know that some parts of Europe, right, education is free. Good for you guys. Right? Not this part of the world. Okay. But that's what I'm doing, right? I'm showing them that the cost of alternative. Another way to really bring in mindset is the cost. Please write this down. So it's cost of inaction. So many times, okay, Heather, financial planning and analysis. So whatever it is that you sell, if your focus is on your thing will always look expensive initially. And most of the time, people are always trying to justify the cost of taking action buying my thing. But you know what is the most expensive thing, or probably a much more expensive thing? A mistake or the price of inaction. And I can tell you, this goes for everything that you guys mentioned over here, there's either the cost of alternative solution, right? Maylin skincare. Well, what's the solution? It could be laser, could be surgery, something that's a lot more painful. Okay. For stocks, sometimes Andy's saying, sometimes a person might be going, oh wow, $20,000 to really understand, stocks seems like a huge investment. To some people, sure, but one wrong trade, one wrong move, whether it's stocks, whether it's property, whether it's financial planning, right, is going to cost significantly more. I can tell you that the reason why I believe it, so I'm not just saying this as to show you like it's a great and effective tool in sales, but it's because it's something I genuinely believe in as well, which is the thing that will always cost us most in life is truly not knowing. Like the reason why I understand this well is because I'm not just saying it. I truly believe in every bit. Like, there's a reason why I have attended every training and workshop and upsell and course back in the day when it comes to sales and marketing and persuasion and even investing, property courses. I've attended them all. The ones that had my interest, I attended them all. Why? Because whenever I'm thinking about buying that course or topic or consulting or training or mastermind, most of the time, I'm not just thinking about how much this will set me back in life. What I'm really thinking about is how much is it going to cost me in life not knowing how to do this? And I know that over time, that's going to be significantly more than the cost of me doing it. And if you think about that, that applies to health, that applies to our finances, that applies to our relationships, right? The cost of working on the relationship, is that going to be something that's going to take up somebody's time, focus, energy, money? Of course. But what's the cost of inaction? Probably a whole lot more. So that's what I want you guys to be thinking about for your audiences. When you want to be able to market and sell something, the focus is not just on the product. It is about changing the way they think about it. And that is always going to be the way you create the biggest change.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the behind the scenes to this coaching call. If you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments below what your biggest takeaway is. And as always, be sure to smash the like button. It does help the channel out a little bit. And to subscribe to this channel if you want to be notified of future videos just like this one. Now, some of you asking me, how can I be part of this process? How can I ask you questions? How can I have you coach me or mentor me? We want to make sure that we are working with the people that's the right fit. You'll need to fill up a form. There's a link right below this video. Somebody on my team might give you a call to interview you to see if they're right fit for each other. And if you want to apply and see if you're a good fit, then all you need to do is click on this link in the description box below and my team will be in touch with you.